I'm Vicki Hogarth and welcome to Southwest Magazine. My guest today is Stephen MacDougall, Communications Coordinator, also working in tourism and promotion at the Southwest New Brunswick Service Commission. There's a tourism summit coming up on March 28th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Dominion Hill. And Stephen is here today to tell us all about it. Thanks, Stephen, so much for coming in and sitting down on the couch today.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit. First of all, I think a lot of people will recognize you as one of the biggest musicians here in New Brunswick, originally from Cape Breton. So what brought you into working now in tourism? I'm sure your background traveling across North America would have informed you a lot about tourism from all your experiences.
Yeah, I just, not so much lucked into it, but I saw the job came up and I interviewed for it, and a lot of the stuff I would normally do happens between Friday and Sunday. So, since COVID, a lot changed, and I work a lot in publishing out of Nashville and Toronto and Halifax and New York and all those places. But during COVID, we kind of bumped up the online communication game as far as, like, say, Zoom and things like that. So I just kind of realized, like, I don't need to be away nearly as much, and I've still got a young kid at home, so spent a lot of time traveling, and I really didn't want to do that too much more. I mean, still do a fair bit of it, I'm so in love with the area. I'm so in love with this place. Cape Bretoners, it's hard for a Cape Bretoner to fall in love with another place. Because Cape Bretoners are always like, they refer to it as home. It's always the plan to go back. It's the most beautiful place. Cape Breton's been voted one of the top 3 most beautiful islands in the world over and over again. But I started coming to St. Andrews to play this place called the Tidal Pool that used to exist here.
Kevin Simmons.
Back in I think my first started coming here in 2001. And I remember driving past Penfield, and you come up over that ridge and you see the mountain range kind of stretch out in front of you. And then this is before the highway would have opened too, so you're going along the coast, the Pogalogan coast, and I was like, geez, this reminds me a lot of home. It's got that ruggedness, it's got the ocean, it's got all that stuff, and I'm like, I could see myself here. And honestly, I would have never thought that would ever become a reality. I have to pinch myself sometimes to be like, if I could go back 26 years and tell that person, yeah, you will be living in this area, and you will be involved with promoting this area, and I would have never believed it.
I think the first time I met you was actually on another island, Campobello Island. You were playing with your band Slow Coaster at Fog Fest. So really, before you stepped into this job, you were so well acquainted with some of the most beautiful parts of this region. Before we get into the Tourism Summit, I know you're doing videos with the Southwest New Brunswick Service Commission. Love to air some on CHCO too.
100%.
That would be great. But tell us a little bit about your spring discoveries, hidden gems for this part of the world. I know you're doing that regularly, so it's worth people checking out.
Kind of just getting going with that too. I was brought in for the promotions. They wanted to get more down to like a grassroots way of doing things as far as communication goes. More social media, more discovery, and there's so much here, so much. And even before I was involved in any of this stuff, when we first moved here, we moved to Shamcook, and my youngest son was only probably 3 at the time, and we've spent so much time in the woods here and so much time just discovering the beauty of this place. And I think Southwest New Brunswick is absolute magic. Like, there is, a lot of history and ancient history here. It's incredible. The geography here is mind-numbingly beautiful. I could go on and on and on about this place, and there's so much more. Everybody knows St. Andrews, and I often akin it to a place in Cape Breton called Bedeck. I don't know if you've ever been there before, but very similar kind of place, looking very similar vibe, everything. Outside the sphere of St. Andrews, there's just more and more and more and more. And as I do this job and make videos to show hidden gems, like I think one of our more popular ones right now is the glass beach area, sea glass out by the Grand Manan Ferry there, and a humongous amount of views on that, and more than I would have ever expected, because it's such a cool thing, right? And the hiking trails, the boat tours, the whales, of course. It's just beyond. You know, I remember 2 years ago, or maybe a little bit more than that, we were camping over in Deer Island on that campground there, and we had the spot that's right by the beach. And throughout the night, you can hear the whales spouting as they go by. And I was like, this is absolutely amazing. And to come into this position, to be able to promote this area to the world, and even to parts of New Brunswick. You know, there's people in Fredericton that have not really spent a lot of time down here, people in Bathurst that have never been here. So, and I think you might see more of that too. You might see more domestic tourism coming down, and which is great.
Oh, definitely.
You know, we want everybody to come and check out our area.
I think we're expecting this summer, especially with the state of the world right now, the silver lining is Canadians tend to stay home. And places like Southwest New Brunswick become extra popular. But one of the things we notice too, you know, sometimes when you're on Campobello Island in the summer, you see all these American license plates that are likely just driving over and then going back home when there's a ferry that could take them to the rest of this beautiful region. And what the Southwest New Brunswick Service Commission does, what this Tourism Summit aims to do, is bring all those places together so we can better support that interconnectivity, that idea that you could stay instead of a weekend, come for a week, come for a month.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about, when it comes to the Tourism Summit, what people can expect, and if they're a business, an organization, how they would get involved and be a part of it.
So it's our first year. We're trying something new. Very small, kind of informal. It's not a 9 a.m. till or the whole weekend. It's not, you know, I know the business summit here is a very big deal, and which is fantastic. It's grown so much over the last few years. We're very small. This is kind of a 4 hours. You know, we're having a speaker come in to talk about maybe some tips and tricks and customer service and how you can improve your promotion and your service in that area. Then we've got Shelley Sagnia coming in, who's the tourism and culture agent for the province out of Moncton. She's going to talk about what she thinks and her visions of the future and the present as well. And just, you know, I think it's more about connection. It's really about connection. We see what works in other places, and connection is a big thing. We want the points of interest to be connected to destinations, to be connected to the transportation infrastructure that we have around here. We want people to know that you can go, and there's a lighthouse, Greens Point Lighthouse, which is absolutely incredibly beautiful. I was there yesterday. And we want people to know that exists, and we want them to be able to get from, if they're staying at the Algonquin or the Granite Town, we want them to be able to go and do that. And we've got a few initiatives coming up that are kind of brand new to the area that are hopefully going to bring that to existence.
And what could people expect from intermingling with other business owners, other tourism offerings, to maybe, if it's just the idea of coming up with ideas, how do we get better transportation from the airport, things like bus services to other locations that might be a little distant for someone who isn't used to the area and navigating this part of the world?
All the things. So one other dimension I'd like to talk about for the summit is, you know, we're also calling on as many like tradespeople as well, who sometimes are left such a humongous part of the equation in this region, the backbone of this region, really. We want to get them involved as well. We want the electricians to be there. We want the carpenters to be there. We want the HVAC people to be there, because, you know, if something breaks or something's being built in one place, we want the picket fence hotel to know that you can call. There is people there that can come. You don't have to wait days and months for certain things. As much as the infrastructure as we can bring together, you know, as possible. And I know this is an inaugural year. Like I said, very short, simple, informal, a lot of mingling. You know, we've got, like I said, 2 speakers. There's a buffet supper in between. The tickets are only $25. It's all being donated to the food bank. And we just want people to talk to each other. We want you know, an excursion tour or something to talk to more of these smaller hotels or Airbnbs to be like, you know, can we promote our business here and you promote your business there, and then maybe if they're staying at your place, they'll know that they can go down the road and they can take a Jeep tour or a whale watching tour, or you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This place is bursting at the seams with things to do and things to see, and we want to make sure that people can have the most fullest experience they can when they come here.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. I booked my puffin trip on Graham and Ann yesterday, but I had to put the reminder out, right? Because March 18th, if you're on the island, everyone knows that date.
Yeah.
But outside of the island, it's not as well known that there's the opening date for puffin tours.
I've done that tour. I think I talked to you about that before. Have you done that?
This will be my first time. But again, I've always missed, you know, I'm not there for the reminder of 10 a.m. on this day, and they fill up so fast. And it's one of these things that in this part of the world, sometimes people think you have to go to Newfoundland to see the puffins, but you can see them on a trip off of Graham and Ann to CHCO Island. So it would be my first time going. And it's thanks to the relationships we've been able to build over the years. But when we have a tourism summit, these are where those relationships happen, where you get to know these things. And it really does change your experience of the area. So if someone comes at 4, if they come at 6, does the experience of the summit change? Should they be there for the whole 4 hours?
I mean, we kind of recommend you be there, just, you know, so you can hang out and you can talk and you can hear the speakers, and I mean, they're not going to be up there forever either. It's just kind of short and sweet, and like I said, have supper especially, and just get to know each other more.
Okay.
I think a lot of people around here do. It's a fairly connected community, but there's a lot of new businesses coming in. There's a lot of new people coming into the region. That you know, you see a lot of say immigrants that come to the region that get really invested really quickly of starting businesses, and we can probably both name a bunch off the top of our heads, you know, really quickly.
My new neighbor, Spruce.
Right.
Yeah.
And we want to get them involved. We want to make sure that everybody's knowing what everybody's doing. So if someone asks somebody, well, how do I do this? Well, how do I do that? The information will be at hand. And B, they'll just have a little bit more. You know, if one place calls another place, hey, my heat pump just went out. I don't know what to do. You might not want to call somebody in Moncton. That's going to take 2 weeks. There's people in the area. Mm-hmm. So, I think from the top it seems like a bit of a lofty goal in some ways, but then when you kind of think about it, it's really not. Like the region is both small and big. Mm-hmm. You know, there's only 24,000. I think people that live in the entire region, and it's huge. And we've got a lot of rural, we've got a lot of majorly hidden gems that I'm going to help promote. Like I didn't even know existed, and other people. And I'll bring ideas that I've read about. It's like a history of this or that, and I'll bring it to my people at work or the committee, and they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't even know that existed." Mm-hmm. So a lot more of that. We want people to be full. We want their experiences to be full, their hearts to be full. We want them to leave. In my experience in entertainment, and you might have felt the same thing. If you can impress a couple of people, those 2 people turn into 4 people, and those 4 people turn into 6 people and 8 people, and it grows exponentially. And that's kind of how we grew our businesses in the entertainment world, is by trying to be the best we possibly could be. So those 2 people bring back 4 people, mm-hmm. and then it perpetuates organically from there.
Yeah.
With a little bit of help here and there with new technologies coming out and new initiatives and promotions that we're trying to do.
I'm the biggest believer in just 80% as anything is just showing up, and I think this summit is exactly that.
I've said that so many times.
Right, and these summits, I'm stressing this for people at home. You could be people in the know like you and I are of most things in Charlotte County, and you'll still get a lot out and learn things, because the beauty of a hidden gem is that even to those of us who know things, there's still new things to discover, because it might not even be online. I know someone recently came up to me and said they discovered a rum running underground. And these are things even people in our region are still coming across, that to the tourists that come and say, what do the locals do? What do the locals like to see? I mean, these are some of the answers that can increase anyone's experience of the region, and for tourism operators, give them something else to show their clients and to give them something to do while they're here and maybe lengthen their stay. When it comes to going to the summit, how does someone get a ticket? Can you show up at the door? Do they register online first? And so there's a dinner as well.
Yeah. So right now, so we did we sent out a pile of invites through emails of what we had in our directory and our database through our Visit MB website, which is being going to be revamped for the season as well. Right now, if you're not, I urge everybody to if you're a Facebook user, which I think most people would be, to join our Discover Southwest Facebook page. There's an event listed on that page, and if you go into that event, it gives it a description of what it is, and there's a ticket link. Like I said, it's only $25. All the proceeds after the event are going to the food bank, and it's very easy to get a ticket to this. I haven't really thought too much about showing up at the door, but I don't think we're going to turn anybody away. But there's still lots of tickets available, and it's not going to be huge. Dominion Hill Country Inn, which I've never been to. How many times have you driven by on the highway and you see the little sign up there just before Boquebec, right?
Stephen, I have been many times. This is your first shock for me today.
I just went the other day and I was like, what the heck? This is crazy beautiful.
I think of Dominion Hill as sort of this centerpiece of the Southwest, because it's sort of this one area that could be, if we had to have a neutral capital, that's where all our decisions should be made.
I was stunned. And it's another amazing example of, and I believe, quote me if I'm wrong, I believe that the owners are from a mixture of Ontario and Saskatchewan and people like that, I think. So, I mean, that's another example of people are coming in and they're starting things. Everybody needs support. So as much as we can do.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful Dominion Hill. For people that want to check out a location if they haven't seen it before, it's just another incredible venue. It's also a great event venue, which we will
couldn't believe it. I was like,
too.
What? When I first pulled in there, because I know I've lived in Charlotte County now for 10 years, and I have driven by that area, and you can see the little dead end road with the sign. But I've never been up in that area. It's only recently that I've gone up kind of north of Boquebec there. It's incredible.
Here's my local tip as you drive into Dominion Hill. These are some things you might learn at the summit. Jonathan and Trevor are Two Gays in a Garden. That's their company. As you drive to Dominion Hill, you'll see this hill. Maybe this time of year you won't see the flowers, but the rest of the summer season, they sell bouquets. You can get a subscription. The most gorgeous thing on your way into Dominion Hill is this beautiful garden up the hill, and that's
so
just
cool.
another
I didn't even know that
local
existed.
offering. But I think I have to talk to you a little bit about your own favorite hidden gems. And like you said, Discover Southwest. Anyone who isn't following that on Facebook right now, they get to follow you in these incredible videos of discovering Southwest New Brunswick. You're a natural in front of the camera, I think, obviously, thanks to your background in the arts and entertainment. But it is really fun to watch you with true enthusiasm and discover and come about these incredible places in just our backyard.
It's kind of a new thing for me in a way. Like, I've been in entertainment for 30 years, and I've acted in films and TV and all this kind of stuff as well. I've been a writer, an actor, a musician. But I kind of looked at it as like, oh, I can do this. And we're only about 6 or 7 videos in. We have a lot to do. Once we're gonna get this out of the way, we're gonna be full steam ahead on that. And I remember thinking, like, everything I've done as far as film goes, I've been in character for something.
Yeah.
So I've been able to hide behind something, and I just kind of assumed I'd be good at it. And I remember thinking, like, pointing the camera at myself and being like, kind of like, hey everybody, we're here. And I was like, oh my God, I am not a natural at this at all. Like, I've never had to be myself, which was scary. But then once you start to kind of own it, and I'm still discovering. I'm still learning as far as this style of communication goes. I'm still a bit in the learning curve as well, and we have so much more to do and learn. And the plans that we have coming up, And the people I'm meeting too, there are a lot of other influencers in this area that have been working tirelessly for years, like East Coast Mermaid, and many more that we could probably both name.
Maritime Mavens, another great one.
Yeah, and you see them over at the boutique in Deer Island. You see them doing these things, and good on them, because they're doing it because they're passionate about it, and their hard work starts to show, right? So, learning from them as well, in communication with as many people as I can. As well, if you're like a local influencer, foodie, all these things, please come to the summit.
Yeah.
We would love to see you. We'd love to hear your take on things, because sometimes it takes kind of group think to see where there's gaps that can be filled, or things that can be improved upon, or even pulled back on a little bit. So we invite anybody that has an inkling that they could be involved. Gallery. There's a new gallery going up. The White Raven is happening and coming up here in the spring as well. Good friends of mine, and I wish them so much success. People in this area, one of the reasons I've been drawn to it, they're so creative, and it's kind of like a real arts community hidden away, and it reminded me so much of home that I'm so comfortable with being here. And galleries, boutiques, souvenir shops, crafters, makers. We want you all there. We want to hear from you. And I'm always available as well if you want to reach out. But like I said, so I'll just reiterate one more time. Go to the Discover Southwest Facebook site, and there is a ticket link on the event with all the information there. Very easy to get. And definitely would love to grow this bigger as the years go by. Bigger and bigger and bigger. As you've seen, the business summit, it's probably started off very similar, and then now you usually have one of the Shark Tank.
We've got Arlene Dickinson from Dragon's Den coming.
Right? What?
It's
big. It's a big event now. You got the Algonquin involved. You got all these things. So we would like to grow as well, because as the economy changes, which it's definitely not. You can't be blind to that happening. You look at the gas prices, airline prices, the general state of the traveling world. We're probably going to see a lot more COVID-ish style traveling, a lot more domestic traveling, a lot more Nova Scotia, PEI, Quebec, Ontario. We're going to see a lot more of that, and we want to see more, and we want to spread it out. Part of my job is to help spread this out. I didn't answer your question about my hidden gem. My personal, I think, favorite hidden gem that probably everyone around here is going to know it is Second Falls, up Bonnie River area. That's where we fish. That's where we hang out. That's where we sit back on the rocks and just listen to the water, explore. I love it up there. The hiking trails out by the New River Beach hiking trail area is incredible. I was at New River Beach yesterday, because I'm scouting for these tower viewers that we're putting in. There's people surfing yesterday. I caught some video of them. Like, you are some brave souls, but good on you. Let's maybe we should tell more people you should be surfing New River Beach in the wintertime, because those are big waves they were catching there yesterday. Maybe there's things we're not even thinking of. Sometimes the coolest things and are the unexpected things. Like, for instance, in the Sea Glass video that I just did about Graham and Ann, the Graham and Ann Ferry Terminal area, and that Connors Brothers Nature Preserve hike. I just met somebody in the woods. I was by myself, and this other fella came along. His name is Joe Carter, and we've become fairly decent friends. And I just met this guy in the woods, and I was like, "Hey, I'm trying to find this beach." And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's not here. It's up there. Why don't you just come with me?" And he was a natural, and that turned out to be one of the coolest parts of the video. It's getting out there and discovering what's there, and just keeping yourself open to the universe and keeping yourself open to the discovery of what's around here. There's so much. And I've only scratched the surface. I thought I knew, but I have seriously only scratched the surface of the history. The hidden history around here. There's train cars in the middle of the woods. There's like you just said, there's rum running. La Pro Falls was a big hideout for the rum runners up there. There's the logging industry here. And as those things slowly start to slip away, and I saw this in Cape Breton Island, when the coal mine shut down, when the steel plants shut down, what you start to have left is tourism. And one of my first meetings with our tourism committee, I was like, tourism should be on everybody's lips around here, whether it's seasonal, whether the infrastructure is more like, say, Cavendish, places like that. It should be on everybody's lips, because the employment opportunities that you can build and the economy that you can build, we need money coming in from outside the sphere of our own economic ecosystem. We need outside money. We can circulate money inside all day long as well, but you need that influx. You need people, and to get that, you need people to know. You need people to know that this place exists, and that it's not just St. Andrews, which is incredible. It's also, like I said, St. George, Macadam, St. Stephen, Pogalogan, New River Beach, the huge amount of campgrounds, the huge amount of, say, geodesic domes that are popping up. I was driving through Back Bay recently, and there's beautiful dome rentals now right on the cliffs. Have you ever gone to watch the sunset over in Grand Manan? That was one of the most incredible experiences. There was people lined up, and people applauded. I've never seen anybody applaud for a sunset before.
Nothing like a long eddy sunset.
I was like, people need to witness this, because I've seen sunsets all over the world, and I have never seen a crowd of people applaud for the sunset before.
It's what we do best.
It's
what we do best in this part of the world.
It was worth the applause, 100%. So more.
Stephen, I look forward to the Tourism Summit. I appreciate so much you coming in today and enlightening our viewers, not only with what the summit's about, but what your role is at the Service Commission. I would love you to come back regularly and just tell us what you're working on and what you've discovered, because it would just be an absolute privilege to share that.
Well, let's do it next time then.
All right. My guest today has been Stephen MacDougall, Communications Coordinator, also working in tourism and promotion at the Southwest New Brunswick Service Commission. Tourism Summit is happening March 28th at Dominion Hill from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. I'm Vicki Hogarth. Thank you for watching Southwest Magazine.
Southwest Magazine is a news and public affairs production of CHCO Television.